Fifth grade, for your next project, you are going to be doing a Cityscape printmaking assignment, just like the example that I'm showing you here. And to do this, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna actually paint the paper that you're going to be printing on. So you're going to be painting two different papers, so you'll end up with two different final projects when you're all finished. So let's do that step first. So you're gonna get, like I said, two different pieces of paper, and you wanna start by folding them in half like this. So this is what we would call hamburger style. And you really wanna make sure that that fold is like really crisp so that you can, when you open it back up, you can clearly see that fold line, okay? So I'm gonna do that with my other piece of paper. So I'm lining up the corners, and then I'm going over that fold, really going over it to make sure it's really in the paper. And I can see it pretty well once I open it back up. Okay, so I can take my time, paint one paper at a time, and you can do something like what I did here. So one side of this is your sky, and one side of this project is the water. So if you would like to do warm colors on top for the sky, cool colors at the bottom, or if you wanna do cool colors on both, you really can do any combination of colors, but just remember that one side is your sky, one side is your water. And so typically water is going to be cool colors, right? Blue, greens, and purples. So just kind of keep that in mind. But for the actual sky, really that could be any color, right? Depending on the day, the regular sky might be any color. So you guys are gonna be using Tempera cakes for this. And I suggest that you use a larger flat bristle brush like one of these. And we're gonna be doing a process called wet on wet. Okay, so this is a watercolor process. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we need the paper to be wet. I'm just gonna start with one half of my paper with just one part of my colors. So I'm just gonna get water on my brush, and I'm just going to quickly paint this side. So I'm gonna do the water first, right? Like my blue, greens, and purples. And I don't have to do all three of those. If I just want to do blue, that's fine. And my paper here is wet, so you can see it's curling. And whenever I start to paint it, I want you to notice how it's almost like expanding on the paper, okay? And that's because I put that water down first. Now, I didn't soak the paper. I just put down quickly and moved it around a thin layer of water all across the surface of that paper. And I'm making sure to paint off the edges. Yeah, I'm getting paint on the table. It's not that big of a deal. You will simply wipe it up at the end of class when you're cleaning up. Okay, so I'm also gonna clean my brush. I have a water bucket over here. I'm gonna clean my brush, and I'm going to add in some, I think I'm gonna add in some purple. And I'm just kind of blending it. I don't want the whole thing to be purple. I'm just kind of blending it in. And then I might even add in a little bit more blue. Try to make some areas darker than others. I don't want mine to be all flat color. I kind of want it to look a little streaky like this. Okay, so I'm done with this half of my paper. So now I'm gonna focus on the part that's closest to me, and that's the sky. And I am gonna go with warm colors, but again, you can choose to use any color combination you want up there. Just consider that colors that are opposite on the color wheel, for example, like yellow and violet, if you mix those together on your paper, you will end up with brown, right? So complementary colors, colors that are opposite on the color wheel, red and green, yellow and violet, and blue and orange. If you mix those sets of colors together, you will end up with brown on your paper. Okay, so most likely you don't want to do that, so kind of keep that in mind. So I'm going to go in with yellow first. Oh, I totally forgot to wet my paper, so I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm just going to wet my paper really, really quickly. Now I'm going to add in my yellow. Okay, so I'm done with this paper. I can move this to the drying rack. And now I can start on my other one. I suggest that you make each one completely different so that you have two artworks that, even though the buildings are going to look the same, we'll talk about that next, at least the background color is a little bit different from one to the other.